Hello, guys and gals, and I told you I would do it because I have to finish everything, and it is the final season. We are doing Star Trek Picard Season 3, and we are going to be doing Episode 1 on here. Again, I'm still doing the same format that I did on Episode 3 of the arc, and obviously all the Last of Us episodes that I've been doing, where I kind of go frame by frame, and not every single frame, but frames that I want to discuss as far as what happened during the episode. And then at the end, I kind of give my final take on things as far as what the plot is, what the writing is, and what the presentation is. So we're going to go into that. Remember, everybody, if you like what you're seeing here, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. And grab a snack and grab a drink, and let's do some couch entertainments of Star Trek Picard episode 1 of season 3. All right, we're going to get into episode 1 here of Picard, or Star Trek Picard. And I will say, just to recap as far as what I think for season 1 and season 2. Season 1 was okay for me. Season 2 was utter crap. And what I've heard about this show is that this season is very Star Trek-y. So I'm gonna go on to certain scenes and pretty much go over it. So the first thing we learn about in the show, obviously, and if you haven't been following it, this would probably be a surprise for you. From here on out, even though I'm showing a spoiler right now of who's in it, I'm going to be spoiling some things. I won't go through every single frame, plot points that I think is interesting to me. So in the beginning, we see Dr. Crusher on, seems like a ship, and it gets under attack by this unknown enemy. It kind of looks like a plague, like those Dr. Plagues during the plague times in the medieval times, pretty much. They have that type of mask going on. Kind of looks like a bird, which eventually, when she does eliminate the threat on the ship, she does a message to someone, which obviously, if you know the name of the show, you know who it is. But Crusher says Hellbird and don't bring Starfleet to it, so it looks like there might be some enemies on Starfleet still, as far as defections going on. So we move along. Looks like Laris is, still with Picard. Picard is enjoying retirement because after those 2 seasons, I guess he decided to take a break. And then when he's in his office, his old communicator from 20 years ago, meaning on the Next Generation show, starts to beep. And finally, he uses a code word to access it, finds out Crusher's message, because that's who she was trying to contact, because obviously she could trust Picard than Starfleet at the moment. He talks to Laris, says he has to do this mission, but he'll be back for her, and then that they could live retirement together. And she kind of gives like this ultimatum that I'm going to go to this event and I'm saving a seat for you, and if you don't show up, kind of like, I guess I'm done with you. So they move along here. We got William Riker. He's actually looking in good shape. He was in the first season, if you remember. They meet at the bar to talk about Crusher on the message about what they should do. And because Riker is a diplomat now and is a captain for Starfleet, he decides, I have a plan. And his plan is pretty much, we're going to get a ship somehow. Now, in this scene, we have Raffi. She's doing something as far as, and I can't tell if she's being a druggie, but she goes to this guy and they do like a transaction of drugs, and then she kind of questions about the red lady, because that's something that she's investigating. And then after she deals with this green guy here, she reports to Starfleet, because it seems like she's kind of like a narc in a police department where they go under. And I think that's why she might be a druggie, is because she had to take all those drugs to go undercover to find out about this red lady. So you have William Riker and Picard talking about the mission here. Their mission is they're going to try to dissuade Captain Shaw, who's the captain of the Titan ship, and I'm trying to. There we go. And this is where I really like that Star Trek is becoming more Star Trek, because we have this nice looking ship. It kind of reminds me of Next Generation meets the original Star Trek, and that is the USS Titan here. And he was a captain on that ship, so their plan is to change course, get to the area of space of where Crusher is, and they're going to take a shuttle and try to. Next scene, obviously, because Riker says, hey, you may know this second in command, and it's 7 of 9, who is the commander of the second in command of the Titan under Captain Shaw. It's funny because Riker does say that Shaw is kind of a by the book and kind of an a-hole when it comes to running things. They have to make it look like it's an inspection that's going on, that an admiral, a retired admiral, by the way, and a captain is on this ship. And they make it look good. And I just want to point out, as apparently Shaw is this a-hole, and then they go on the bridge. So we actually, funny moment, we have a character here that is on the ship, and it's LaForge's daughter, and I believe it's Sydney. And there's a funny moment where Riker is pretty much saying, hey, did you have a nickname in Academy? And it's like Crash LaForge. And everybody kind of looks at her like, oh my God, she's driving our ship. And it's pretty funny. Then they get the part where they get out of the space station and pretty much go into warp speed. Instead of Picard saying engage, we have 7 of 9 doing the engage. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I liked it. Now we get introductions to Captain Shaw. They pretty much say we need to go off course. They're being kind of nonchalant about it, where they're like, oh, we need to go off course. And he's like, no, we're not going to do that. And he's kind of talking crap to Riker on how that they were reckless under both him and Picard. 7 of 9 is like trying to like go to bat for Picard and be like, hey, we should see what this is all about. And Shaw does an a-hole move saying, I want to see where your loyalty stands. You're either with the ship or you're with your Borg friend, which Picard, if you remember in the Next Generation, he was Locutus, I think. I guess there's still anger about the Borg within the Federation, where they still don't trust Picard. And obviously they don't trust 7 of 9, because if you remember in season 2, they forgave her, made her part of Starfleet. Oh, and that's another thing. If you remember, they pretty much retcon a lot of things. Like half of the cast is not here. They split up Raffi and 7 of 9, so that's not a relationship anymore. Then there's this, I guess, intelligence person that she's talking to, where she's trying to get some information. This person has the file of Raffi. I just don't know what to think about it yet. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be a person that we know about as far as part of the Next Generation. And here's another scene where Shaw said that he put their quarters together, and it's bunk beds, just kind of shaming them again and just not caring about Picard and Riker and their legacy. Again, the whole Borg situation and how essentially it is his ship. So, having another person come on the ship and say we're doing this because it's not part of Starfleet, I get his point of view, but he's still an a-hole. So 7 of 9 wakes him up and says that, she disobeyed Shaw's orders, and they take the ship. She says that one of the guards is not going to be looking, so you're going to be able to take a transporter and go to the ship. Shaw wakes up and he's disappointed in 7 of 9 because he sees where her loyalty stands, and I'm pretty sure Shaw's gonna change. He's gonna be this a-hole, and near the end he's probably gonna save her life, or they're all gonna be friends and buddy. Raffi, through the intelligence, knows that there's a terrorist attack that's gonna be happening, and it's gonna be on Frontier Day, and she tries to warn them, and then pretty much the Frontier Day ceremony is destroyed by this weapon. Oh yeah, and that's one thing that happened in the town where she's trying to find information. Apparently there's some scientific tool that they're trying to do, like quantum portals and I guess like wormholes and stuff, but it could be used as a weapon, which just got demonstrated here, that it sucked the Coliseum where Frontier Day was, and then it poured out all the rubble from the sky, because it's like Portal. If you ever play the Portal game, you shoot one portal, you go through it, and then it comes out the other portal, which is right here. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then eventually, when we get towards the end, Riker and Picard get to Crusher's ship. They're looking at the crime scene, essentially. I also wanted to say that in this episode, Picard and Riker talk about Crusher on how she not talking to the crew and kind of abandoned everybody. And then they find out Crusher is in cryo sleep, and there was a person with Crusher who apparently is Crusher's son. I don't know who the father is. You know, he wakes up because he puts Riker at gunpoint and pretty much says, "Don't move, who are you?" And then eventually finds out who it is. There's an alarm that goes off, and apparently this enemy ship that shows up, which looks badass, dude. Like, I don't know who's in there, if any Trek. Like, I'm a Star Trek fan, but I'm not to the extent where I know every single detail in the show. But I am a fan of it. But that's how the episode ends here. All right. So, with episode 1 in the books, what do I think about it? As far as plot-wise, I think the plot is fine so far. Like I said, it starts off with, not Wesley Crusher, but Dr. Crusher, Beverly Crusher, I should say, is on this research ship, it kind of looks like. And with these new enemy, which I'm going to call them Hellbird, because that's what she says when she contacts Picard. And that is the main plot at the moment, is that we're trying to, what happened with Beverly Crusher, which I guess that's what we're going to see next episode since they're on the ship and then they're dealing with this new enemy. So that's the main plot line going on. And other plot lines that you have going on is at Starfleet, there's something going crazy. You have Shaw, who's not trusting 7 of 9, and Picard because they're Borg members. So they have that discrimination going on with Shaw, as far as his ignorance, as far as them being ex-Borgs and stuff, and now part of Starfleet. That's a plot that's going on right now. My opinion is they usually do this in new Star Trek, where they have this main plot storyline. And what I love about Star Trek and what I say about shows that happen today is I love when you have the main plot, but each episode has their own plot that needs a beginning, middle, and end, and we get some closure on that. In new media now on TV shows and movies, is we have this one main plot, and then we slowly get to that point. And I hope that doesn't happen in this show. I hope that we have this big plot, but then we have these mini plots that are going on that we'll get closure on. And then I could feel like this isn't actually a Star Trek Next Generation show. Because, come on, people. Now, I know based off of what Patrick Stewart is the reason why he wanted to sign up on this Picard show is because he didn't want another Next Generation show because he thought it ended well, which in the series, yes, it ended well. In the movies, that's another story. He wanted to make sure that it doesn't mess with the Next Generation. But then they made 2 seasons that weren't Star Trek at all, and it was really, really dumb. And they had to use the Next Generation, cast members to kind of save the series. And so far, like I said, in the coverage is that people are saying good things about the season, that it's very Star Trek-y, and it's actually decent to watch. But I'm going to be cautiously optimistic because there are things that could change and they could go back in their old ways that happened in season 1 and season 2. But so far, I'm liking the plot. I'm liking the cast so far, with Crusher, Riker, and soon we're going to get all the other people. And they took away half of the cast that I didn't really care about to the point where the whole Queen Borg stuff was stupid. Then you had the daughter robot of Soong in there. I forgot her name. Didn't really care about her in season 1, and she was barely in season 2. Then you had the whole Raffi situation, which again, I don't care about Raffi, but apparently in this season, she kind of redeems herself based off all the reviewers that have been talking about this. So the plot is pretty sound at the moment. Presentation wise, amazing. Like I said, the seeing the USS Titan, it has the Next Generation and the original Star Trek combining them together. So the ship looks really cool. I kind of like I keep on saying Wesley Crusher, but Dr. Crusher research ship, and I like that as well. And obviously, the CGI of the weapon sucking the Frontier Day arena to the floor, and then the clouds raining of all the debris. I thought that looked fine. The cyberpunk little planet that Raffi was on, I rolled my eyes a little bit, but it's doable. I mean, come on, it's Star Trek. There was a lot of cheesy stuff that we saw in the Star Trek shows when they went to other planets as well. So I'm not going to give him heat on that. And I love the bridge. The bridge looks cool as far as when 7 of 9 and Picard and Riker were on the bridge and they did the whole engage thing. Because everybody loves when Picard says engage. And I thought that was pretty, classy of having 7 of 9 doing the engage part. The only fault I will give him as presentation-wise is... Actually, no, I don't have anything that's off, really. Everything's good in my opinion. Like, the only thing that I rolled my eyes about was the cyberpunk type of city. Oh, and that green guy, like the makeup is like they just spray painted him green. It looked kind of hokey, but again, that's Star Trek when it comes to, aliens. It's really cool when seeing it like that. Writing wise, now this is where I'm like cautiously optimistic, is because all the coverage that I did in this video, it's slow moving. Crusher gives them the message. Then you have the Laris and Picard, talking about retirement and stuff. And then him talking about receiving that message from Crusher. Then we have, Riker and Picard in the bar. And they kind of like, oh, we got to do this thing. And then we get to the part where we're on the Titan. And then Raffi scenes, and then the ending of Picard and Riker getting to Crusher's ship, and then meeting that new enemy ship that comes on them, and it just ends. So that's where I'm like cautiously optimistic, because I'm afraid that we're gonna have this main plot, but then the in-betweens are just gonna be throwaway plots that are just gonna be like, okay, but let's get back to the main plot because that's what I care about. And that's what made The Next Generation so special, is even though we had the main plots of like the Borg or the Cardassians and other things that are happening, and the Vulcans and the Klingons, we had things that happened that needed solving within that episode. So I hope we still get that, but I'm pretty sure we're not. I think we're just going to get that main story, and things are going to happen along the way. Then that's when I usually say, well, if you want to make a compactful main plot, then just do a movie. Do another movie. I'm pretty sure if you made this season 3 a movie, it would be fine, and it would be a good way to sign off Picard itself. But again, it's only episode 1, and it is good. I'm not going to say it's Cloud 9. I'm going to give it a firm, like a high firm, as far as the rating. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's not perfect, but it's not bad at all. Like I said, the plot's pretty simple, and it does feel Star Trek-y at the moment. Things could change throughout the season, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But that is episode 1 of Star Trek Picard. As far as what's next, obviously, we have the Ark and also The Last of Us. The Last of Us, we have like 4 more episodes because it's the 9-episode season, and I believe the Ark has 12 episodes. I don't know how long the Picard is. I'll check on that for you guys, and we'll talk about that next video. But I think we'll end it here. Make sure to follow our website, which is BigTroubleArchives.com. We also have a Twitter, which is BTA Content, and a Facebook, Big Trouble Archives. And also, make sure you like this video. And also, if you're new and you made it to the end, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. But until next time, I will see you on the couch next video. Peace.